What's up, guys? It's Mike and Thomas here, and we are going to watch Religulous, the entire movie this time. We're not just bullshitting you with some little special features, because a couple of the comments that I got was, hey, it's great that you did the special features, but it's way easier to find the actual movie, and you don't usually get special features on Netflix and places like that. So, we're going to improve the sync up process since we got bitching on the last episode. We are now paused at a blank black screen right after you see the words, what is it?
1,000
words, and you got a little stick figure guy and he's in a red circle. So, go ahead and pause our video and get your DVD player up and running and get to the 1,000 words thing and press pause when you get to the black screen. Okay, so I assume you've done all that by now. For me, it was instantaneous. For you, it probably took a while. But we are paused at the black screen, and in a moment, I will say go, and you will unpause the movie at the same time as us, and then we will be hopefully synced up. So, ready? 1, 2, 3, go. And now we are here in Megiddo, Israel. Megiddo.
That was already supposed to happen a few months ago.
Oh yeah. Well, every generation thinks they're the end times. Yeah.
I always feel like they're going to hit their heads.
Self-fulfilling prophecy. That's the worst.
Praying at the wall, smack their head into it.
I mean, there's a thing, I don't remember if it's that religion or a different one, but part of the showing respect is to have like a red mark on your head from smashing your head into the ground as hard as you can. So you smash your head into the ground as hard as you can, and then that red spot that you get for doing that is like your badge of honor for the rest of the day to show how committed you are to God.
Sounds like a horrible idea.
That's real. I couldn't make that shit up in my wildest dreams. But there's people out there that really believe that that's real and that God's going to be pissed if they don't do that.
Doesn't surprise me. Yeah.
I have to try. Does that mean he knows that it's futile to try to figure this stuff out with people?
I think he does.
Yeah, I mean, chances are, out of all the people that have been trying to do this throughout history, you're probably not going to be the dude that brings it all crumbling down.
Nah.
You're just going to be he's like one bullet in a volley of endless bullets that have to be fired at religion.
Jesus' footprints.
Hell yeah. Oh my God. Oh, what? Why? These are people trying to lead our country.
Some of those guys look to see if...
Oh yeah, to see if other people... And they probably looked in the audience to see...
Like, well, I better raise my
how
hand
religious
too.
The audience was to see if they should be raising their hand.
Yeah.
That's what I fucking hate about
see
politicians.
See how interested the audience was in the answer.
They're not going to fucking tell you the truth. They're going to tell you what they think you want to hear. How can you believe a fucking thing that comes out of their mouth? Like that guy. I don't believe a fucking word that comes out of his mouth ever.
They almost got hit by a train.
Yeah.
Train should be just right where people are walking.
Yeah, it did seem like it snuck up on him.
And that's probably what you would do if you got a Holy Ghost enema.
Shit, if I get a regular enema, I'm going to be doing that. Yeah, you put that away now.
We're filming a movie here.
Yeah, but if the Vatican police sees you filming, they're gonna be like, no,
Yeah.
They're gonna muscle. They're gonna come out like the Mormons and muscle you out. Which you can do that if you're a comedian.
Oh yeah.
All of a sudden, it's okay.
It's okay to do it then.
Yeah, like Carlin. My parents are like, you don't have to worry about...
If you're up on stage...
You don't have to worry about anything Carlin says about religion. He's just a comedian. But I was like, yeah, but he still makes valid fucking points. Yeah, that's the problem.
I think he's being funny with it, but...
But do you have a response to any of the shit that he says? And they don't. They're just like, oh, well, we just dismiss it. Because he's a comedian. Look, he's wearing a clown hat. You can't take him seriously. Ah.
Big eyes.
Oh my god. He's got a gun.
Yeah, he goes to church with a gun.
That's great.
He looks almost exactly the same.
Yeah, he does. He just looks like a mini version. That is weird. Like, religion obviously can't play a big role in your household.
I can't go to church with you guys because I'm not part of that religion.
But how big of a deal is it? If you could be married to this person,
yeah,
and they believe totally different shit, like, it just doesn't play that important of a role for most people. It plays a way bigger role for me than it does for a lot of people, because if I meet someone and I'm like thinking about, man, maybe I'd like to like date this person or something, maybe. And then I'm like, oh yeah, they're probably a fucking Christian or they believe in ghosts or some shit.
That's not going to go over well.
No. And if they think you're going to hell.
When you had the first conversation about it.
And they think you're going to hell someday. And you might potentially lead your kids to hell if you decide to have kids. That's serious shit.
That might be a problem for
We're going to have a dog that just coughs in the middle of the podcast. So sorry if anyone hears that. She's 15 years old. She's an old dog.
Give her a break.
Yeah, she's an old dog.
She's a senior
Thank God
citizen.
that she's lived that long.
She's a senior citizen right now.
Yeah, oh fuck. Yeah, dog years. She's old as shit in dog years. We'll use birth control. They're like, you're trying to control us fucking. We'll have no more of that. And she looks like a fat girl, Bill Maher.
Yeah, she does look a lot like him.
I feel sorry for her. She looks too much like a man. She looks like Bill Maher. Whenever I see her, I think of Bill Maher.
Well, she was born first, I think.
Okay, so he's a rip-off of her then. Oh my god.
Bill Maher looks like his sister, whatever her name was.
Can't you feel it? We believe in the UFOs. What did that say?
I love those.
Oh
signs.
Yeah, I love those signs. Oh, those are like that's like comedy gold driving through our city. Because there's like 50 billion churches like everywhere. On every fucking corner. And every one of them has a little goofy sign and it always says something retarded. Like every time I read one of those, I just start laughing my fucking ass off.
Yeah, they're great.
They always say something stupid. like God is the ultimate wireless connection. That was my favorite one. Ultimate wireless connection? I've never gotten signal to God once in my day of life.
No, never.
It's not ultimate. Uh-oh. Now he's going to question the Bible. That guy doesn't appreciate it at all.
That shroud.
I would not question the Bible in a dark alley with that dude.
How can he be trying to explain the truth behind this, and he doesn't even know what the thing's called or anything. The Shroud.
Oh, the Shroud of Turin.
Yeah, he's talking about the Shroud of Turin. He goes, I didn't get involved in that, but now I'm about to tell you.
He got involved just enough to hear someone tell him lies about it.
Yeah. He
because
heard what
the
he
Shroud
wanted to
of Turin was made in the 14th century. If Jesus was born in the year 6 or whatever, and the Shroud was made 1,400 years later, I don't think that's the same fucking Shroud. And that's the problem right there. I don't think there's a single thing out there that I couldn't change my mind about.
I don't think some of these people knew that he used to be a Satanist.
Yeah, I think they kind of got startled by that. It's like, so why did you stop again? It sounded like you were being blessed by God or something.
He's right.
Oh, yeah.
What if you're right?
Yeah, well, there could be a million gods out there that could be real, right?
Yeah.
He's not worried about, well, what if he's wrong about Zeus? Or what if he's wrong about Odin? Or what if he's wrong about it? Yeah. He's only worried about being wrong about Christian God.
What if you're
which presupposes that one is the correct God. What if you're wrong about
Zeus and you get a lightning bolt up your ass?
Yeah, exactly. It's the same argument. Yeah, he doesn't know, and they don't fucking know either, even if they pretend that they do. Because every time someone asks them to demonstrate how they know,
they can't.
It's bullshit. It's a logical fallacy, or it's lies. It's something every fucking time. And Francis fucking Collins.
And this blows my mind about this guy.
Yeah, this guy, he, Matt Dillahunty from the Atheist Experience has a big boner for Francis Collins. He, stood up and defended him when he was selected to be, the chairman of the National Science Academy or whatever. He, stood up, he's like, oh no, this guy is good and he can completely separate all this stuff. But the problem is, that guy denies an entire branch of science. Because that branch of science, to him, is explained by God. And how can... it's just mind-blowing that you can have someone that's in charge of science that just, denies an entire branch of science.
Shouldn't even be possible, I don't
think. But, Yes, and that's exactly the point. That's the standard for everything else. So why wouldn't you use that standard?
Make this exception
and in fact,
for this
if
one
your
thing.
standards are even more stringent and you're still able to prove that shit, it makes it that much stronger.
He's afraid he's going to go to hell.
Well, yeah. No, his whole deal was he went outside one day and he saw a waterfall that was frozen into 3 different sections, and that was the Trinity. And he hit his knees and he believed in God from that day forward. Well, you know what happened to me? You know why I'm an atheist? Because I was walking through the woods one day and I didn't see a waterfall. So I'm an atheist now. Doesn't that just make perfect fucking sense? That's the stupidest fucking reason ever. What if the waterfall had been frozen into 8 different pieces?
I love this guy.
He's a Hindu now.
Can't be.
Yeah, it can't be. It's not even a possibility for him.
Yeah, that'd be a pretty major thing.
I mean, he does have a point where they just selected a bunch of stories. It's not one dude that wrote the Bible. It's a whole bunch of dudes. And then other bunch of dudes got together and voted on which stories get in and which get out.
Chose their favorite ones.
They got final cut, basically.
Yeah.
They got final cut of the Bible.
Editor-in-chief.
And then King James, he came in and he, translated it to suit his needs.
He doesn't get it.
I don't get it either.
This is the look on his face when he gets ready to pray for him. The guy in the green. The little look on his face.
He takes charge.
Yeah.
He's a Satanist priest. He's had experience in being a priest. Touch him, Lord, please. I want the God of atheism to touch some of these people. Please, O Lord of atheism, touch some of these people.
I like how he didn't bow his head or close his eyes or any of the common stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That you see people
One
do.
of my favorite quotes from Dennis Lubay of the Non-Prophets. Whenever he goes to a church or something, he just sees this sea of heads that are bowed, and he's the only one that's just standing there, and he just has this Laurel Hardy smile on his face, like, It's like, that's what I feel like now. Every time I see a bunch of people pray, I just sit there and I'm like,
if someone's on welfare, they should not have $1,000 to be sending to a church.
Dude. Well, that's the problem. The more you need help from God, the more you give money to the church.
Yeah.
And the more money you give to the church, the poorer you are.
What a great
which
system.
Means you need even more help from God. So you better give that money to the church.
That's a great system.
Oh, yeah, it's a great con job to bilk people that need help out of helping themselves as much as possible.
If he was, then he's got to be the one on the end.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've never looked into it to see if he
I
really
never
was.
really looked into it. I don't think I ever cared enough to research that.
I hope he wouldn't get on a movie that is going to be all over the world and lie about
some
major like that.
You'd be surprised what some of these fucking people will lie about, dude.
He's thinking about
it.
He look like he does.
I often wonder how much cheap shot editing goes on.
Yeah, I'm sure there's.
And Bill Maher argued with the guy. He was like, "I don't want cheap shot editing." He wanted it to be really fair.
Well, that's good then.
So yeah,
that's the way it should be.
Yeah, that is the way it should be. Most people ain't gonna do that if they got a movie and they're making it. They want a certain story they want to tell. They're gonna make sure shit looks right. Yeah. I love this. That was the best avoidance ever right there. Yeah. That was like Olympic quality. His name is called God. What if his name is called God?
Yeah, where?
What if I was
I've never heard that Jesus dressed well.
His name is called Thomas. Who says someone's name like that? His name is called Thomas? What the fuck?
Yeah, that is pretty weird.
That's a weird way of saying it. It's because God is so much better than regular people.
Jesus was poor. He did not have fine linen.
No. Jesus told you to give away all your money.
Yeah.
That was this dude came up to Jesus and he was like, "Jesus, I've done all the commandments. I've done everything you told me to do." He doesn't even
know what it says in the Bible.
Then what is that? The rich man camel. Oh yeah, that one. But in Jesus, all things become possible, even a camel passing through the eye of a needle.
Seems like Bill Maher knows more about the Bible than he does.
Dude, I probably know more about the fucking Bible than this dude.
It seems like more atheists do know more about the Bible than people who claim to be religious.
That's part of the reason I am an atheist, is because I actually sat down and started reading parts of the Bible, and I was like, this is the Bible? Yeah. I was like, wow, this is...
And I feel like crap. Everybody should have that reaction when you present them with the truth, but they just shrug it off.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, that was a different time.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, don't you think God could have improved them old ass times by being all extra godly and doing some shit? How about giving people the steam engine? He could have done that shit at any time. He chose to wait like thousands of years for that. Because I've been there. Yeah, you should kill yourself for God. Like a Muslim. The Muslims got that kind of passion. Oh, shit. I'd much rather him put that passion towards a woman than God.
Yeah. He's always on the run.
This is the only $2,000 suit. So, he gets a deal. I don't think it matters what fucking clothing store he goes to. I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to afford any damn thing he wants to wear. I don't care what type of deal he got on them shoes. Probably cost more than my entire outfit. Just saying, you know what I'm saying? No matter what type of deal he got, it's probably more expensive than all the shit that I wear. Unless I start wearing jewelry or some shit. I could pump up the cost if I wanted to. but for real, how much is like a shirt? What is it, like $15, $20 for a shirt?
$15-20.
$20 for these pants. Like $40. I'm wearing underwear. I happen to be wearing underwear. A couple more dollars, right? I guarantee you got them shoes for way more than I had.
Oh yeah. Those were probably $200-$300 shoes he had on.
Yeah.
Why would I want to?
Why would you even send the angels down knowing they was going to get raped? Like your God sitting there in heaven like, yep, I'm about to send these angels down so they can get raped. But no, we're going to deflect the raping. He's going to offer up his daughters to get raped instead.
Oh, and we live by these crazy people.
Yeah, we do. I don't want people to know how close we live to them. But we do live close to them. The Bible it's an abomination for you to be homosexual. What the Bible means to say, that is one of the greatest quotes ever. I use that a lot.
So do I.
Is that the girl that...
I think it is. She's a lot younger there.
Those people are fucking nuts, dude. Oh my God. The Phelps. He didn't like that at all.
But you are ex-gay.
Yeah, I mean, he said he dealt with homosexual. Maybe you're gay and you're just dealing with some heterosexuality right now.
He just dabbled in it.
Well, what if he's gay right now and he's just dabbling in heterosexuality right now? Like, it could go either way. What if he's just denying the reality that he's fucking gay? Because that's kind of what it looks like.
He's forcing himself to be heterosexual.
Yeah, it looks like he really is forcing himself.
Yeah. He still appears to be gay to me.
Was that like Christ's cup? Is that supposed to be the cup of Christ sitting there on the table?
That's what it kind
of looks like it, doesn't it? Indiana Jones 3.
Yeah, that's looks kind like of the Indiana Jones Holy Grail.
Well, it was different in that movie.
Yeah, it looks
just be blunt.
It looks a little bit more rough in Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
The basic shape is still there.
The gay gene. No, he didn't. There's no single gene that's going to make you gay. It's a vast combination of, complex things that determines sexuality and all that shit. That's not a little thing. Like, millions of people are being persecuted for being gay. It's not a little thing.
He's getting backed into a corner. He wants to end it.
He's not refuting. He's just asking questions.
Yeah.
He's not saying, you're full of shit, pal.
He knows that he can't answer the question.
Yeah, he knows that he can't answer the question, so he's just going to ask him just to see what happens. I've seen what happens. If you back someone into a corner and they won't just give up, they won't just say, well, you're going to hell, or they won't just blow it off. They go into a mental fucking... They go into, like, meltdown. They can't fucking handle it sometimes. I've seen people, like, start shaking and, like, what's that thing when you start stuttering and stuff? I've heard people break out into stuttering. I've heard people start shaking violently, like watching, like, debates and stuff on the internet.
It's because they can't handle what they're hearing.
Handle what they're hearing, and they can't answer the questions, and and they just freak out, and I feel so bad for them because they're victims at that point. They're so fucked up in the head that they're like feeling physical pain from it. Like they're and it's like, dude, calm down.
He's about a nut job.
Yeah, it always seems like how anti-gay someone is in public, the more likely they are to be gay in private. And this guy right here is publicly saying how bad it is to be gay while trying to tell everyone that he's not fucking gay, and I don't think I believe it. I don't think I'm buying it. He's like, are you hitting on me right now?
He even knows. He knows.
Yeah, he knows. He's got a shit-faced grin.
I wonder if his wife got mad at him when she saw this.
I know. This is great. That had to
of course,
be like,
she used to be a lesbian.
That had to be like public domain footage or something right there. It was real cheap. It was real cheap to get that footage.
Yeah, I can't remember what that is, but that's an old famous movie.
It looked like it was shot in early 60s, late 50s.
Yeah, it's something like, I can't remember the name of it, but
they look like they were wearing Roman costumes.
Yeah, it is set in Rome.
Do they crucify Jesus in the movie? That's the question. Is it a religious movie or just an old Roman movie?
I think it is just an old Roman movie.
Because I've seen like the original 300. That was like made in the 60s.
See, I've never seen that.
Yeah, that is a totally different movie. If you enjoyed the new one, you probably won't enjoy the old one at all.
Probably not a lot of nearly as much action.
And if I was gonna recommend something for people that loved 300, I'd recommend they read a book called Gates of Fire, because that is the story of 300, written a decade before the movie 300 ever fucking come out. I was reading that book in high school. My teacher borrowed it from me.
$2,700.
Wow. He's like, so getting back to the story.
It's like, don't worry about the expensive Jesus paraphernalia I have in here.
I mean, to me, it's like he's taking advantage of people's beliefs and their emotional connection to these things to make shit tons of money. He's kind of a scumbag to me. I know that's not how he's looking at it. He's looking at it like, I'm spreading the word of Jesus, and
he's spreading the gospel.
And I'm getting money at the same time.
He's doing God's work right now.
He's getting rich and he's doing good stuff at the same time. But to me, it's like, you cocksucker, you're preying on people's faith and their dedication so that you can charge whatever.
I love the whip sound.
That was supposed to be like the gotcha moment.
He has like holy outfits back there. Do you think like, not the Pope obviously, but cardinals and they go there to shop?
High up people in the Catholic Church go there to shop.
And I love the Jesus cross in the background there. It's actually Jesus, and he's...
Oh, wow. It is. I think that weird-looking Aztec-looking thing is
Those are
What
probably
is that fucking cross right there in the middle?
That is pretty weird.
That's a weird looking cross.
All sorts
a
of
bunch of
baby
different,
Jesuses and different manger
Every time I
scenes.
see a baby Jesus now, I just think about how, as a grown-up, he's going to, I think, shoot a giant sword out of his mouth and cut people down, and he's going to have a wine press of sinners, where he stomps on your body until the blood comes out like pressing wine. Like, every nativity reminds me of, I'm supposed to be tortured in hell because I don't believe in that stuff. Like, that just... And then when he found out there was no God, he was really pissed.
I don't really remember being mad when I found out there was no Santa.
Oh,
as long as I was still getting presents, I was
dude,
good.
I was fucking devastated. How could my parents have lied to me about it all those years? They did, like, lots of stuff to trick me into believing, too. And I finally, like, cornered my parents with, like, some Santa evidence. I was like, Mom, the other day, my friend took me to the mall to go Christmas shopping. And Santa was there. And then he took me to another mall. And Santa was there, too. And at the time, I was like, how was Santa at both malls? And it was, like, mind-blowing. And he was like, well, he has shifts. He can only spend so much time at the mall, and then he has to go to a different mall. And his sleigh is so fast that he got here before us. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes perfect sense. And then later I was like, I just don't know if that's real. And so I, like, cornered my mom, and I was like, Mom, I want to know the truth. Is Santa fake? And she was like, you really want to know the truth? And at that point, you already know the fucking answer. And I was like, yes, I really want to know the truth. And she was like, Santa's not real. And I was like, no! And I, like, ran upstairs crying. I was devastated. And I never convinced Michael there was a Santa Claus.
Never tried.
Little Michael. So... And he doesn't really seem to give a shit. As long as he's getting Christmas presents.
That's his main concern.
He doesn't fucking care. And I told him, I was like, don't tell kids at school that there's no Santa because they probably believe it. And it'll just upset them real bad.
And they'll go tell the teacher.
And they'll go tell the teacher, and then their
teacher
parents...
will get mad at you.
And, it's just a
whole
whole
bad situation.
Cascade of events that we don't want to deal with.
Don't even get into it.
So... But I found out there's a couple other kids at school, because Michael... can't keep his mouth shut. There's a couple other kids that don't believe in Santa either. So they're all Santa atheists, and they got to keep it secret in their school. Man, that'd be nice if atheists came out of the closet.
What makes them think God is just focused on our country?
Because
wouldn't he be focused where
God
Jesus was born?
No, God specifically designed the universe for Earth, right? And God specifically designed Earth for America.
Yeah, you're right.
So God specifically designed the universe for America. Why? Because Christians are in America. And I guarantee if you ask any of those fucking Christians, oh, it's all for us. It's all for us. But we're humble. We're humble. Yeah, I showed some of these quotes and some other various quotes to my mom. Because she didn't believe me. She was like, every one of our founding fathers was a good Christian.
No.
And I was like, no, they were deists. And she's like, what the hell is a deist? And I was like, oh, we got to have this conversation though. The apostle founding fathers.
Less often.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we've stated in the special features that while I love this movie, and I'm big into, anti-religious stuff, you've probably seen this movie more times than I have.
Oh, I've seen this movie.
You've seen it millions of times.
Dozens of times.
You, ambush people with the movie sometimes. Yeah. You're like, You just have someone chilling at your house and you're like, hey, you want to watch a
Yeah,
fun movie?
I'll just be like, hey, have you ever seen Religulous?
And they're like, what the hell's a Religulous?
Oh, yeah, we're going to watch it. Most times
you've never had anyone
though.
freak out, though.
No.
That's good.
I've had
considering the place we live, but it's not really a surprise because these are the people you're having over at your house.
I have had somebody tell me that I'm trying to push my
You're trying to push your beliefs on them? No,
Yeah.
No, you're not. Just presenting them with your beliefs is
I'm just making them available.
Yeah. It's like, if you don't want to believe this shit, then don't.
I've never had anybody
I'm not going to be like, you need to convert. If you don't convert right now, the rest of your life is in danger.
I've never had anybody get so mad they just left, though, or started yelling at me.
But it's usually not like, that was a great movie.
No. No. I have converted a couple of people, though.
Yeah.
And that helped. This movie
converted
helped.
them or enabled them to give up religion. Because converting them makes it sound like you, like, I don't know, like you forced them into it somehow or something. Like whenever someone's trying to convert me, they're trying to force me into it. They're like, if you don't do it, this bad stuff is going to happen to you. You'd have never do that. You weren't like, if you don't do this, then, like, you know, mafia people are going to show up at your house. Bad stuff will happen. Accidents happen. Yeah. Yeah, the first couple laws are, I'm a god with a big dick and you better fucking worship me. The answer is no. We don't. Yeah, the earth was flat back then. And stars were just holes in a curtain that was drawn over the earth to make it dark. You understand? Night is just a curtain, a black curtain that just gets drawn and it becomes dark. And because there's holes in it, we see part of the sun shining through the... no, it wasn't the sun, it was part of the light from the heavens shining through the shroud, and that's what the light from the stars was.
That's
like, they had a totally different worldview. And it's completely represented in the Bible. And yet somehow this is the almighty, omnipotent being that designed the universe. He designed the universe, but he doesn't have a basic concept of how the earth is in space in reality. He's talking about flat earths with four pillars and corners and shit. Corners on the earth? What the fuck is God talking about? Arkansas comes first is what was on his desk. I'm sure it does. In some horrible fucking standards. Well, it's interesting. How come America sucks now is the real question. No, they're pretty much on board with real evidence.
It possibly could have been.
He got a little smirk on his face. He's like, there might be a little possibility like that somewhere in there. You fucking asshole. I can't believe people like this are in charge. This guy's a fucking moron. Yeah, we know. We know that. You just fucking demonstrated that over and over again. Yeah.
You knew that was
worth the entire interview. Showing up and filming that day was worth it just for that one thing that he just said.
He knew that was going to be on the movie.
This guy. Just looking at him just frustrates me.
He looks like he should be a bad guy in a movie.
Yeah, he does look like a James Bond bad guy. I think we stole that from the movie.
Did we?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure in one of the commentaries they mention he looks like a James Bond villain, and I agree. It's so damn to ugly.
Didn't they run out of funding before they finished this thing?
No, I'm pretty sure they. God, it's so hard to remember. There's a couple of these like amusement park type places, and they always end up in fucking tatters and shut down. But one of them that had a place like that. Is he the one that went to jail? One of those guys went to jail because he tried to claim that God owned the park, and he didn't have to pay taxes because he was God. Or something like that, and it's like, or no, he didn't have to pay taxes because he didn't own any of the property. God owned the property, so they'd have to get taxes from God. He's not responsible. He's just there.
They weren't going.
God, no, they didn't. He went to jail. They're like, okay, go to jail. And I don't know if it was him or if it was the other guy. I see someone moving in the reflection.
Yeah, I saw that too.
He's like, if it looks like a sinner and smells like a sinner, then it's a sinner. I love that. I've never heard someone say that with that collar on. Like, you know how rare it is for someone wearing that collar to say something like that? Yeah, but was that official God talk? Because the Pope has to declare when he's about to say something if it's official God talk or not. And if it is, then it's infallible because it came from God. And if he doesn't say that, then he could be wrong. And then if another Pope comes up later and says this is official God talk, and it contradicts something earlier that was official God talk, then it's like revised, and it's like, oh, that guy got it wrong. Yeah, and what did they do to Galileo? They like put him on house arrest for his entire life because he dared to say that the Earth went around the sun instead of the sun going around the Earth like it describes in the Bible. This this father has got to infuriate some religious people. No. Don't you think God, in his ultimate omnipotent power, could choose to do things any fucking way he wants to? Which would include not having a bunch of, like, babies murdered every day or some shit? Like, he can do fucking anything he wants to. He could have chosen for the world to work pretty much exactly the way it does now, just better.
Yeah.
He chose not to do that. That kind of makes him a douchebag. Like, if I had the ability to cure cancer, and I just decided not to do that, I'd be a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yet God has the cure for cancer right now, and he just chooses not to give it to anyone. Sorry, guys. And he designed the fucking cancer in the first place to exist. Thanks, God. Thanks for the cancer.
Couldn't go without that.
And the fucking, every other disease, and the Japanese hornet that sprays your face with acid that melts your skin. And the acid also has pheromones in it that attract more of the hive so that they all come and spray you with acid too. Isn't that awesome? Thanks for that, God. That was a great design.
I think this is my favorite guy in the whole movie.
Yeah, this dude. He's a maverick.
Yeah.
It's obvious.
I mean,
But what can he do about it? He's just a little guy. And his gun. Baba Beeba Booba.
they don't do that no more.
He's like, hell just doesn't exist anymore.
Hell's off limits now.
Now, the Pope, who obviously outranks this dude, disagrees with him. Hell is real. So this guy is a fucking maverick. He may not feel like a maverick because a lot of other people in the Vatican feel the same way as him.
I wonder if he got in trouble after this.
But yeah, he might have. Yeah, Jesus was probably born in like March or some shit, and you know. I tried to find that. I wanted to watch Helltown.
I think I looked it up one day. I read about it on Wiki.
Yeah, I think I looked it up at Wiki. I don't think I actually found any. I think it was like a show, and then it got turned into a movie. They like took a whole bunch of episodes and smashed them together into a movie.
My stepdad actually said he's seen it before when he was younger.
Wow.
Like it was on TV.
That was a real show to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Praying to saints. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. And he's supposed to be Jesus. You'd think that'd be the first motherfucker you count on. Yeah, it's not even monotheistic when you're praying to all these different
You don't
people.
forget it. You just have to let people believe whatever they want.
Yeah. I mean, they can believe whatever they want. Just don't expect me to shut up. Like, if I think it's stupid, I'm going to say it's stupid. Oh.
I would love to go here.
A fake, clean Middle East. Isn't that cute? Like, this place looks old and crappy because they designed it to look old and crappy.
Nobody's suicide bombing.
But when you go to the Middle East in real life, the videos don't the places don't look like that because they're supposed to look like that because they want them to look like that because that's all the fuck they got.
The little boy was dressed like one of the Romans.
Yeah, I know. If you're taking your kid there and you believe the story, and you believe the story that the Romans killed Jesus, why would you sell this stuff to let you? Hey, I'm gonna pretend to kill Jesus, Ma. Let's string it. Let's.
I have a theory that this girl that runs by is late for work.
Yeah, she does look like she needed to be somewhere pretty quick. And I never even noticed that until you mentioned it.
I've seen that.
And now that you mentioned it, I heard her like scream, like they put the sound effect.
That just shows how
many
times
and me and you know that's a sound effect. You remember when Angry Video Game Nerd was doing his question, and the kid was like, "Man, your toaster exploded in that one video. What happened?" And it's like, "Oh, you're gonna have to crush his dreams now because none of that stuff's real, buddy."
It doesn't even look real.
I know. But that's what I'm saying. Like, me and you watch movies different. We know all the tricks and stuff. But people are just watching this.
Yeah.
No.
I can tell I would argue with that
Yeah.
lady. I could just see
Big.
it.
What was their nickname? Big Blue. They gave all those people nicknames, and she was Big Blue.
Big Blue.
Look at her.
Great.
I mean, if her outfit,
Yeah.
she's Big Blue.
She
And
had a
she's
lot
up
of
in
baby
she's
blue
up in
on.
your face and shit.
Yeah, yeah. She looks like she's the kind of person that would talk over you if you.
Oh yeah. You can't. The problem is, I won't let someone talk over me. I'll start yelling back at them.
Jesus made sure her cell phone
Yeah,
was
this is-
somewhere else.
Just a dude that showed up one day. It's like I'm here to play Jesus.
Yeah.
Like he didn't know anything about the Bible.
He probably already had the long hair and the beard.
Oh
so
yeah, he looked
already
like
looked
Jesus.
like Jesus.
Yeah, I
Like,
imagine.
this guy would be great to play Jesus. He looked like what everybody thinks Jesus should look like.
And people get really mad when I say that there's a large possibility that Jesus might have been black.
Yeah.
People get really fucking pissed off, and I'm like, he may not have been black, but he certainly wasn't fucking white.
No.
He was either going to be black or he's going to be Middle Eastern.
How would he be white?
That's the only fucking two. Yeah, like Jesus is the only American walking through fucking, the Holy Land several thousand years ago. He's the first American. Jesus is the first American, according to some people. I guarantee it. I guarantee he was the first American to some people. Well, if he's so goddamn great, why does he allow the situation to turn bad in the first place? Why not just
he just
allow it
moved
to be
on
bad?
to the next thing.
Well-
There's no answer for how the Holocaust was good. Because it wasn't.
Well, the answer
at all.
is it's good because if we were able to evaluate it from God's perspective, we would understand that the Holocaust had to have happened for something even better to have happened later. Except for God can do anything he wants. So he could have made all that good shit happen and got rid of the Holocaust. Why is God all of a sudden bound by all this shit that he can't do?
The Wicked Witch showed up.
What about when God says that, have no other gods before me? He kind of admits there's other gods out there. Like, is that God admitting that he's real? Oh, and all these other gods are real too. You just have to make sure I'm first. Because most people back then believed in more than one God. But you had a main God that was like
God
top
is-
shit.
He's,
Like,
he's the end all be all.
yeah, and so you gave him more stuff than any of the other minor gods. So he's basically telling people,
Do you think Jesus is...
you can believe in all sorts of other gods, but you have to make sure I'm first.
He's
Most Christians wouldn't accept that.
No.
They'd
Not
be
at
like,
all.
you can only have one God and he's it. The end. Period. He's probably learned how to argue from playing Jesus. That's probably the only reason he ever had to fucking argue about this stuff was because he plays Jesus.
Yeah.
And people would be like, hey, well, how come? And all of a sudden he has to come up with an answer.
I think they're brother and sister.
Yeah, I was going to say that's either mother
They
and
look a lot
son
alike
or
to me.
brother and sister.
You think Jesus really had a crushed velvet?
Yeah, I'm almost positive he had that.
Crushed velvet. I don't even know what you call that
He
thing.
was white and he had a
long
perfectly
shirt.
trimmed mustache and hair.
Yes.
And he was very well groomed.
That's he used.
It was easy to be well groomed in those days.
He used good shampoo.
Yeah, conditioner. Leave it in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Holy Spirit is like water
Yeah.
vapor.
Yeah,
And
they all.
and God is like he's like water. And Jesus is like ice. He's like the solidified version of the Holy Spirit. And God is like he's kind of ghostly, so he's like water and he flows. And then the Holy Spirit is just this like steam, this vapor that's everywhere, right? That's brilliant. Isn't that fucking brilliant, dude?
That's brilliant.
I mean, all you gotta do now is demonstrate that the Holy Spirit exists And it does all that stuff. That's all you have to do for that now, and that's proven.
He's like, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe Mithra.
He's like, hurry up and get through
Mithra
this.
Was,
so I can tell you that's bullshit.
Mithra was one of the ones that was almost exactly like Jesus. But I believe they do Horus.
Yes.
In their ultimate one, Horus.
Yeah, Horus was the one they were just talking about.
Complete bullshit. Go read the fucking... Like, they didn't bother to fact check very well this part. He's a nerd. The Jesus story wasn't original either.
How so?
Now, see, this is just absolute horseshit.
All of it?
Pretty much. I'd love to say every single thing about this movie is perfectly correct and accurate. But I can't do that because I know a little bit about Egyptian mythology. And hardly any of this shit is in the fucking horror story. There's like one or two things, yeah. But you're really fucking stretching for some of this stuff. I don't know if it was Horus, but one of the ones that he mentioned that had the same, that was born of a virgin. Okay, the way this god was born was his mother chopped off the husband's dick and then had sex with it. And that's born of a virgin. That's exactly like the Jesus story, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, it's not. So, what if you're wrong? We can just go back and forth with that all day.
He's never considered that.
That's great. He's got to pretend to be all fucked up and
People
bloody.
are cheering.
You know he's got to have a little bit of a complex from being Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yay, Jesus got punched in the
And then
ribs.
this is just, it's almost emotional abuse. Because they believe this really happened, and they believe it happened because they're so evil, because they were born so bad.
Yeah.
That someone needed to have this happen to them for it. So that they could be forgiven for being so fucking evil. You evil cocksucker. Ah!
Yeah.
They probably didn't do that. It was probably a tree.
The plane probably didn't fly over either.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah. That shot is great because it's just such a huge contradiction. It shows what things used to be like, and then it shows the fucking reality, screaming right past him in the sky. I am your master.
You need to go.
He's gonna come out with the Scientologist stuff. This is a famous place, like Speaker's Park or some shit, isn't it?
Something like that. People go there to debate.
Yeah. I could imagine going there and getting in a fucking debate with somebody and having a shitload of people all standing around watching me debate. Because I'd hear something about, that's just horse shit. And then they're going to say something, And I got to respond. Audit yourself. Contact the IRS. Yeah. Have you beaten Mario? Getting to the next level can be hard sometimes. He should have let him keep that hat.
Yeah.
That was fucked up that he took it back. And a lot of people believe in that story, but they're still laughing about it. Like, yeah, we know that's crazy, ha ha ha, but we believe that's real.
Yeah.
But that crazy one is real. With Thetans. It get even crazier. Yeah, where you go from there? You got to come up with something even crazier. Utah. Is that Joseph Smith?
Well, I think it was supposed to be, yeah.
I mean, if you see a statue of a dude there, it's damn near almost guaranteed to be fucking Joseph Smith.
It's like the second richest religion, I think.
Yeah.
The Mormons.
And they're not that big,
No.
but they have so much money. It's so disproportionate to how big they are. Uh-oh. There's the Mormonites. Yes, I've combined the Mormons with Moonanites. They're the Mormonites. They want us off the property.
I just go across the street and talk
Oh,
about it.
look, you got this there. There's his partner, that guy with the huge beard. That is the other main dude that made the movie. You don't get to see him that much in the movie,
No.
so whenever you see him, I'm like, that's him.
Just a handful of times.
Every time Bill Maher's talking to someone off camera, that's the guy he's talking to. It's the guy that helped plan the whole movie, whole shebang. Corrupted. No, he basically came to Joseph Smith. He was like, hey, guess what, dog? Update. Turns out the church that I started a long time ago isn't doing so good no mo. So you need to start the new church that does everything right. So they have a New Testament.
The New Testament.
That's all it is. People freak out. They're like, oh, Mormons, that's a cult, and that's da-da-da-da. They're not real Christians. It's like, no. They believe in Jesus. You added on to the Jewish stuff, and you claim that as your religion now. They added on to your stuff, and now that's their religion now. It's the same fucking process. You can't call them, wrong when you did the same shit to form your own religion. But they don't think about that shit.
That's the lost.
Yeah.
The lost Jews.
They even went so far as to DNA test ancient, Indian bones to see if they matched with, Jewish DNA or something like that.
That didn't work well for them.
No, it was completely different. It couldn't have been further away on the spectrum if they tried. They were so divided from each other that, you'd have to go back to the roots of actual humans themselves to find common ground.
The holy underwear.
We almost elected a man president that believes in holy underwear.
Which is...
Is that fucking crazy to you?
It is.
Because that is, really? How far America has fallen. America's totally fucked. We almost elected a guy that believes in magic underwear. Magic underwear. Man, it's like fucking Grand Central Station in here. Now, I've seen another movie that's shot in this same location.
What, in this? In the train station?
Grand Central Station. What other movie was filmed at Grand Central Station? Maybe they... Well, no, I think it was the real Grand Central Station.
Many movies.
Well, yeah, that's true. Recently. It's the remake of Arthur, I'll just tell you. Because they made a big deal about...
Well, I thought that's what you were...
They made a big deal about renting out Grand Central Station to do it in the movie, and then they did it in the movie, and... But you're right, it's been in a lot of movies. Thinking back, it's like, yeah, I've seen Grand Central Station in a lot of movies. Okay, yeah, he's talking to a baby. He could just as easily be talking to a baby right now.
I love you.
And is that people in the audience laughing at him as he's doing it? That's what it sounds like.
Sounds like to me.
I mean, I would be too. Sure. A Jew, not a Zionist. Okay, well, there I'm gonna have to diverge with his opinion right there. I don't think that the state of Israel should necessarily exist either, but it's got nothing to do with decrees from God and shit like that.
Let me
Oh
just
yeah,
finish.
let him just finish.
Because he's never
You know what?
finished.
Yeah, the problem with this guy is he's never fucking
Yeah.
finished.
He's going to win the argument because he's not going to
Yeah,
give you a
because
chance
you don't get a
to
chance
argue.
to talk. He didn't even get to say one fucking sentence before he's like, no, let me finish. And he's like, I already know what you're about to ask. I'll address that in a minute. Yeah. Under God's protection. Oh, now we're jumping. Jewish safety.
Let's.
Okay. No, it's not okay, and that's kind of the point.
The guy's got a lot of. Just.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! He reminds me of of the type of like conspiracy theory, like nut jobs. If you could argue with those people, they do the same thing. They just don't let you talk. They don't give a shit about your opinion. They don't care. They've already heard it. They already know how to respond to it. They don't have time for you, even though they're debating you.
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah,
better make some time for me if you're gonna debate me.
No.
One more thing. He's like, no. And see, the guy that he's... That's why I pointed him out earlier, because every time you hear someone off camera, that's that dude. That dude, he looks like he's Jewish. You know the guy that in the other clip that I was showing you that
Yeah.
helped make the movie? He reminded me of the rabbi guy. He has a
Yeah,
lot of hair.
he looks like he's Jewish too.
He's probably an atheist Jew. There's a lot of atheist Jewish people. Because Jewish is kind of a race now. It's considered like your heritage. So you don't have to believe in God, but you can still be Jewish.
These inventions are great.
Oh, yeah. This is so stupid. These are basically machines designed, to trick the almighty, omnipotent, all-knowing guy of the universe, and you're gonna trick him. It's like, no, 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 no. Yeah, I agree with that at the bottom of the screen because they fucked up. He's like, God damn it. It's not modern.
All of it does look really old, out of date
Yeah,
stuff.
it does.
I wonder how long ago they made this
so
stuff.
retarded. How is sticking that fucking pen in there to inhibit that not the same as pressing a button? Like, the definition for work for him is pressing the button. But if you don't have a button, let's say you have a pen, that doesn't count as work.
Yeah.
Even though you're exerting the exact same, maybe even more energy to do that, it's not, quote, work. Because it doesn't fall under the list. Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Saturday Night Live.
A fork and a wheel.
When he, handicapped my ass and made me have to do all this extra shit.
He shook his head yes. It's taped together.
Yeah, the top of it. It probably doesn't make a difference, because even if they think it's stupid, they probably still have to get one anyway so that people will actually, do stuff. Like getting in a car, because it requires you to shift gears and turn keys and stuff like that, that is work. But if you have to walk 20 miles because you can't use your fucking car, that's not work. I'm sorry, but walking 20 fucking miles is way more fucking work
Yeah.
than turning a goddamn key and pushing some pedals back and forth. So if God really wants less work to be the goal, I should be using my car every fucking chance I get. Yeah. He's gonna burn his fucking kid to death because God asked him to. He didn't at any point say, no, I know that you're not the one true God, because he would never ask me to do something so evil. He didn't pass the test that way. He passed the test because he was willing, and he believed that his God would ask him to sacrifice his kid, and he was going to go do it. That's how he passed the test. My test would have been like, you were willing to kill your fucking kid for me? You failed the test, motherfucker. You should never be willing to do anything horrible like that. What if I was Satan trying to trick you into killing your kid? Don't you think the father of lies could trick someone into thinking they was God?
Yeah.
That he was God and, doing horrible shit?
He should have no problems doing that.
Fuck. He's
He's
right, dude. I am so miserable. I just remembered how miserable I am.
He sweats a lot right under his nose.
He does. He does have upper lip sweat. About him specifically. It's like, that's just a coincidence. I'm the real Jesus too. How much do you think they paid for that clip?
I don't know. That is my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah. I had to say something because I knew that.
I loved it.
That struck a chord when you saw that part. You were like, "Oh, that was brilliant."
Yeah, I thought that was great, especially the first time I saw this.
That girl right there.
Yeah, she is like the best ass.
Yeah. I totally need to move to Puerto Rico now just because of that picture.
Jesus,
dude, if I moved to Puerto Rico, I'd have the second coming too.
Why did he have 666s on his shirt and that vest he was wearing in that picture?
Because I don't know.
No.
He's like, that's crazy.
That's
crazy
like, no.
talk. There's no sin anymore. Isn't that nice to know that there's no more sin anymore, Thomas? Here I thought when Here, when I thought kids were getting raped by Catholic priests, I thought that was like a sin or something bad.
There's
no more guess sin. What? There's no more sin. Isn't that great?
Well, that's what I believe. That's great.
I love what he says. When he's like, if I was the devil, I would try to do that good too.
Yeah.
With some angel dust. Yeah. There's the second. Is there any more clips from... I think that's the last clip.
Yeah, that's the last clip.
He probably spent a lot of money just to get those two clips.
Yeah, I wonder. I'm curious about that. How much it costs to just use a clip from a movie.
Well, under the Fair Use Act, you might be able to get away with it if you comment on the thing that you're showing. But they didn't comment at all. That was just in there
Yeah.
for throwaway. That throwaway joke probably cost them a lot of fucking money. Unless they know somebody or got a deal somehow, or the same studio that made that movie made this movie, and they had access to the clips for free. There's all sorts of little ways to get around that. I like watching old movies. Because of Nintendo Nerd, I enjoy watching old movies now. I don't know if I can watch some of these old fucking religious movies. He was gonna disagree, and then he was like, "That's it, brilliant." Yeah, Jews hire carpenters. He has a lot of lip sweat, doesn't he? He is like wiping his lip every couple seconds. That is scary as shit right there. What if he is Satan in person and he's just lying right now? Because that's part of him doing a good job as Satan, is to trick people into thinking he's Jesus. That's wow. Bill Maher was 40 and he's still making deals with God. 40 years of existing on the earth and believing in God the whole time. Like, I wonder how I lived for so long not realizing how fucking stupid all this stuff is. And then I wonder how other people exist, even longer than me and not realize. Like, people go to the grave
not
believing this shit.
Out of it.
People like 90 years old go to the grave still believing this shit.
Yeah. He's thinking about it.
He's like, no. How is this a religion, really? You know that they put those candles there to shoot. They wanted to set the scene up, right?
Yeah.
So they probably put a bunch of like brightly colored candles on the window to like brighten up the scene a little bit. That's why I think this dude's hair catches on fire. Because he's not used to having a bunch of candles behind him and shit.
Yeah, probably not.
Because I wouldn't put candles there.
Not right
Fuck
behind
that.
the hair.
Right where people have their heads and shit. And now that I've remembered that his hair's going to catch fire, I'm like waiting for it. I'm like watching his hair and the candles. Shot 8 times and stabbed twice. And had a throat slit.
For a movie.
I mean, it's not like getting shot and then stabbed 8 times was enough. They had to slit his throat at the same... Like, he's dead. Mission accomplished. Behead those who insult blah blah blah. The religious side. I wouldn't have said the Muslim side. I would have said religious. Because there's Christians out there fucking killing people too.
Yeah.
You just don't hear about it because, it's not usually in this country. Yeah, we're going to kill motherfuckers over some cartoons. But you're perfectly allowed to have free speech.
Propaganda.
And we're allowed to have free speech when we fucking kill you. Because that's our speech. Us killing you is free speech.
A lot of Muslim people.
A lot of people supported it. But now, Not so much.
I'd like to see some. I think I tried to look that up on YouTube before, and I wasn't able to find anything.
Yeah, I couldn't find anything. Unless we fucking kill you for it. Yeah.
Just
Kill Rusty.
puppet that looked like him.
Yeah, so isn't that part of free speech, is insulting people intentionally?
Yeah.
I think we should protect that. And then the people that were insulted, you know what? They should be allowed to come back and insult him back. But they don't do that. They're like, alright, you insulted us, time to die, motherfucker. Yeah, because he wants to make it more fucking complicated.
Hold on, Bill.
So that he can special plead for his fucking position and not apply it to anyone else. No, I don't have the truth. Sure you do. You think the almighty dude helps you out with the truth, don't you? With that plan I have hatched.
That stops the madness.
He's getting ready to blow himself up. He's dressed as a fucking bunny. He's like bombs on his chest. He's like talking about the plan that he's hatched and shit. He looks blonde.
We should become Islamic or be killed.
Hey, at least we get a choice. The choice is die or do this. He's like, okay. Yeah, he's like, this is it.
They're the only two.
They're like, we didn't find that very funny.
Could get you a year in
Yeah,
prison.
you go to jail for being gay. Like, Your Honor, I'm gay. They're like, well, gotta go to jail. Yeah, oh yeah, two dudes can love each other, that's fine. But if they want to, like, blow each other, now we've got a problem. He's just like,
You look
okay.
like he's okay with that. It does.
It does. It does. I don't think he found that very humorous at first. He's like, I'm taking this serious. We're smoking pot seriously right now. How do you poke smart seriously? He likes the color. His hat sucks. It's like the free one that you get.
Yeah. It's the little
like
cheap one.
It's the free paper one that everyone gets just for showing up.
He's got a fancy one.
Yeah. Yeah, his is like furry and stuff on it. You know, he like puts that in the washing machine and stuff. Bill Maher's wouldn't survive the washing machine. If you're allowed to press buttons to operate the washing machine that day. Because it's work to press the button for the washing machine, but if you go outside to wash your clothes, it's probably not work.
No, no.
No, not a damn thing. He's like, yeah, that's no.
Just politics.
He's like, no, that's just not true. Oh yeah, you're just terrible. That's just like a Christian saying, oh no, the Bible doesn't say that. No, seriously, it says it right here. You show them and it's like, oh well, that was a different time and da da da. Yeah, she explained them. Why would you need to explain something like that? That's the almighty word of God. He's almighty and he's the most merciful of the most merciful. In the Quran, that's the exact words. He's the most merciful of the most merciful. Meanwhile, if you go to hell, he'll have your face scraped on the ground with burning hot coals, and he'll roast your skin off and then replace it with brand new skin so that you can feel the pain all over again. It's just like a whole list of just like pouring boiling water on your head. Just all this fucked up stuff that he's going to torture you with. But he's the most merciful.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's nice.
Islam is spreading peace. Peace.
Yeah, peace. Well, dude, after you kill all the other warriors, you've got peace. Because there's no one else to fight.
You can't see his feet.
It's just all politics. It's like, I'm not the guy that thinks that there's 7 layers of heaven and 7 layers of earth and all this crazy shit. I do not like candles behind me. He is not happy about that. I wouldn't be happy either. I'd be like, you fucking cut that shit out, please. I don't want my hair caught on fire.
Well, I had to leave that in.
Yeah, I know.
That was the Michael Jackson moment.
But
in the movie.
I still didn't want it. If I was him, I wouldn't want that. I'd be like, damn it. Now I just made potheads look bad. We're all catching our hair on fire and shit. You remember that one time when we smoked and then we took some pop, and to open them we smashed the fucking pops against the concrete and started drinking broken glass? You remember that? You remember when we did that?
Oh yeah.
What was that? What was that
That's
movie?
on God, what is that on?
It's like, they didn't even notice they were drinking glass and shit. It's like, how the fuck do you not notice you're drinking?
I think that's on
chunks of
Reefer
glass?
Madness.
Yeah, that sounds right.
The Special Rock.
No,
No, he's getting pissed.
It did come from the heavens. The heavens is out of space.
It's black. It's like, just listen.
He's like,
man.
you don't fucking get it, dude. It's the stone of fucking God. It doesn't matter if we know about meteors, and that if a rock is totally different from every other rock in the area, it might have come from space. Not to mention the fact that the people believe it came from the heavens, which is outer space. It's the stone of God. Just get it. Get that through your fucking head. You can tell how frustrated he was getting. He's like, God, I want to stab you I want to stab you right now.
To be on the video.
Yeah, I don't think.
I don't think regularly that he would be in there.
I mean, they're so tolerant that they'll fucking kill you if you're Salman Rushdie for writing a book. They're so tolerant that if you make some cartoons, 50 people have to fucking die over it. It's very tolerant, isn't it? They're so tolerant that these dudes are like, what the fuck are these cocksuckers doing in the mosque? Yeah. She's allowed to sit in the corner. Isn't that so nice?
They have a special corner.
We get the only the Quran gives women their true, proper rights and shit. And that is your property, and you're a piece of shit, and you're like exactly half as much as a man and all this crap. Well, yeah, isn't that exactly the fucking problem? That they can't, you have to accept everything. Even if you know it's probably not right, you just accept
You
it
have
anyways.
to.
Well, I mean, God isn't as strong sometimes. Sometimes he loses, and then he makes you come back and get your stuff back. It's all part of his plan. You can't understand him. He's greater. It's like
His
trying
waves
to.
are higher than
It's
ours,
trying to
Dave.
explain a television to an ant. You can't do it. There's the giant penis man with the club.
To show you something completely different. Was that a reference to...
And now for something completely different. Yes, that would be Monty Python. I've heard a lot of Blackadder and Monty Python references lately. Like, they're fucking everywhere. I was like, who is watching these old British shows? Giant space penis. Yeah. The end times are coming.
Every single person he talked to probably brought that up at some point.
Dude, every fucking... Oh, we've come full circle to where we started.
We're back to mosquito.
Mosquito. Yeah, Megiddo, I believe that translates to Armageddon.
It's a perfect place for it to start then.
So, yeah, that's... yeah.
It was meant to be.
Well, that's what I was saying at the beginning. Every fucking generation was convinced they were the last generation. The end times were right around the corner. There's all these signs that show us that we're at the end times. Then they die, and then the next generation grows up thinking it's the end times. And they do the same fucking thing, and it's never the fucking end times. Jesus said to one of the fucking dudes sitting around the table at the Last Supper, or one of them fucking occasions, he said, the end is gonna come before like this kid, like this 6-year-old kid, before he's an adult, the end of the world's gonna happen. That didn't fucking happen. It was supposed to end, right after Jesus. Didn't happen. That's the fucking problem. I don't know about none of them there politics, but I'm a vote for him because he doesn't like the Bible. Yeehaw! And then she fucking pulled out her guns and started shooting into the air. What kind of fucking morons do we have in this country, dude? Yeah, science flies us to the moon. Religion flies us into the fucking World Trade Center. Yeah. I'll vote for complete fucking retards if that's what you want. Please! That's emotional fucking abuse, nigga. They're being abused by their church. The Lord didn't say nuclear.
I hate that guy.
The Lord didn't say nuclear. He didn't say nuclear either, thank God, but... Camera's down here, Bill. Okay. Whoa, hey, whoa, whoa, whoa. Boom. Good times. Mission accomplished. There's Big Blue in the background. You couldn't see her. She was hiding behind, she was hiding behind Earl.
I love
that's his name is Earl.
I love what she says.
And she's gonna come back on a white horse. I don't think this bitch understands what the rapture is. You don't fucking come back from the rapture. You don't just go up to heaven and get on a heaven horse and then come back. You're done. You're in heaven. That's it. There is no coming back. And guess what? There's probably no fucking horses in heaven.
No.
He knows it. That's the whole problem right there.
He knows it for a fact.
These people know it. And like that guy said at the beginning, can't be. He won't even allow for the possibility that this stuff might be wrong.
He can't accept it.
Yeah. It's not even a possibility. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine something not even being a possibility ever? No matter what? Like, I can't imagine anything like that.
No.
But what if God's not fucking there? Then it's for us to fucking decide, isn't it? Yeah. And you know what? It kind of looks like that's how it's been this whole goddamn time.
Fear God.
Death. Yeah. You'd tear that fucking place down in a minute. And if that place was known to be hoarding pedophile fucking priests and shuffling them around so that they can pedophile on more fucking kids, we'd tear that shit down in a second. All those fucking people would be in jail. But because they're holy,
they get a pass.
Can't do that. It's the work of God. Well, maybe God wants us to rape a bunch of fucking kids. It seems no one's considered that fucking possibility. Maybe everyone who doesn't want to rape kids is wrong, because God has revealed secret truths to the Catholics that shows them that raping kids is the only true way to salvation. I mean, they have just as much proof for that as any of these other cocksuckers got proof for their fucking idea of what God wants them to do. It seems like they've used something outside of that religious paradigm to decide that that's wrong to do that. But that couldn't be possible because everything good or bad comes from God. So they couldn't possibly just decide something's bad on their own.
No.
That's crazy.
Can't do that.
Well, we know where we're going. Thanks for joining us on this episode. We will see you next time at the movies.